as people, we're communicating less and less with each other, and it's getting bad. So let's have a conversation about it. For a long time, people had no social media. Sure, they had news and mail and word of mouth like we have today, but they also had one thing that we're slowly losing, and that's physical interactions. You had to go to a newsstand to get your news, and you got mail instead of email. And when you were in a taxi, you didn't have your phone to isolate yourself with. Now, we're surrounded by electronics. And according to a study that CNN did in 2016, the average American spends just over 10 hours each day consuming media. And that was 8 years ago. So let's change it. We've gotten quite good at burying ourselves in digital distractions, hoping that the problems of our world will just magically disappear as we look away. And there's a word for that: avoidance. By avoiding our world and the people within it, we increase our problems and stop ourselves from healing. On the other hand, there's another word called ignorance, which comes from a lack of awareness and comprehension. A good example would be when parents give their kids iPads at restaurants. So not only are the kids unknowingly ignorant to their surroundings, but the parents are the ones who started it. When our ignorance gets in the way, intentionally or not, we're limiting our own understanding while adding to our problems. The good news is that both ignorance and avoidance can be fixed by confronting our discomfort, engaging in discussion, and actively seeking out new knowledge. And it's a lot easier than it sounds. I'm hoping you know the phrase stop, drop, and roll, because otherwise my analogy doesn't make sense. But in a fire, when you stop, drop, and roll, you're trying to suffocate the flame. In my analogy, the opposite is true. If we stop and drop what we're doing and give ourselves a second to breathe, we gain a moment of mindfulness and the chance to pause our distractions to live in the present. Now you might be wondering, how is all of this related to a simple conversation? And the easiest answer is to find out for yourself. Ask someone how their day really is, instead of just saying it as a simple greeting. Engage with your surroundings, and only then will you be able to understand what you are missing out on. I know this video is much shorter than my last, and there's a reason for that. If you had watched my first video, then you know that my health is not doing great right now, and sadly it's getting worse. So I don't know how often I'll be posting or how consistent I can be, but just as always, I appreciate the time you spent with me, because there's only so much time in a day, and I hope to see you soon.